There are moments in life when everything feels like it's paused. Relationships, plans, dreams, all seemingly waiting for something invisible to shift. It may have felt like you've been standing still for too long, waiting for a reunion, a reconnection, or a long-lost part of your heart to return. But this stillness was never truly empty. It was sacred preparation. Behind the veil, something divine has been moving, orchestrating events, realigning timelines, and moving the pieces that once felt scattered across the universe. Now, the tempo is changing. The energy is shifting. What once felt far away is rushing toward you with accelerated purpose. God is speeding up the reunion. You may not see every detail yet, but if you pause and tune in, you'll feel it. A spiritual current is growing stronger. You're not waiting anymore. You're being prepared. Before we continue, I invite you to watch this video all the way through. If it stirs something in your spirit, leave a comment below with your warmest wishes and the number 77. Let this moment be more than just listening. Let it be an exchange of energy. Your wishes are not idle hopes. They are living frequencies, echoing into the vastness of the universe. Each time we align with our truest desires and intentions, we activate a chain reaction that brings us closer to the destiny we're meant to touch. So take a breath, ground yourself, and lean in. This is the chapter where things begin to move. Many people assume that divine timing is only about waiting. That if you simply sit in stillness long enough, what you want will eventually find you. But divine timing isn't passive. It's intentional, fluid, and deeply connected to your evolution. The reunion that's coming into your life, whether it's with a soulmate, a loved one, a calling, or even a forgotten version of yourself, has always been part of a sacred path. The delays weren't detours, they were divine design. And now, the heavens are aligning with greater urgency. You'll notice the synchronicities speeding up. Random messages that seem tailor-made for your heart. Encounters that feel scripted. Emotions that rise out of nowhere and remind you of something or someone you thought you'd buried. These are not accidents, they are signs. The universe is whispering, it's almost time. When a reunion is meant for you, it doesn't need to be forced. It begins to gravitate toward you like a magnetic pull, responding to the clarity and growth within your soul. That's why you've been going through what felt like fire. It wasn't punishment. It was purification. Every closed door, every unanswered question, every lonely night was shaping you, humbling you, and fine-tuning your vibration to match what's coming. This reunion couldn't have happened sooner because neither of you were ready. Not truly. But now, your energy is rising. Your light is stabilizing. And the person, or path, that's been waiting on the other side is sensing it too. There's a sacred moment when the divine steps in and accelerates what was delayed. It's not because you asked louder or pushed harder. It's because the soil has been tilled and the harvest is ready. The reunion is no longer a distant event to wait for. It's a divine reality preparing to land in your life. You'll feel it through heightened emotions, vivid dreams, or sudden urges to revisit places and ideas from your past. You might feel pulled to reach out to someone, or you might find that they reach out to you unexpectedly. You may remember something from years ago that now holds new meaning. These nudges are divine breadcrumbs leading you closer. Understand this. When God speeds up a reunion, the universe begins to collapse timelines. What might have taken months or years now folds into days or moments. But this isn't about rushing. It's about alignment. When your heart, soul, and surroundings resonate with truth, the divine doesn't need time. It simply unfolds. So if you're sensing a quickening, trust it. If things start happening fast, don't question it. If the right people, places, or opportunities start showing up with no warning, know that it's not random. It's the acceleration of destiny. You've likely felt the shift already. Maybe you've had trouble sleeping, your dreams becoming more vivid. Maybe certain names or memories keep resurfacing. Or perhaps you've had moments of peace that feel almost unnatural, like something inside of you knows something good is near. These are not delusions. They are confirmations. A reunion isn't always about romance. It can be a reconnection to purpose, to joy, to clarity. Whatever you've lost, whatever you've missed, whatever still echoes in your spirit, it's preparing to meet you halfway, and it's coming quicker than you expect. In this unfolding process, your job is not to chase but to align. Keep your heart open, your mind clear, and your spirit steady. Say yes to unexpected invitations. Follow the subtle instincts that guide you to call someone, go somewhere, or revisit something that you thought was long behind you. The reunion doesn't need grand theatrics to arrive. Often it slips in quietly, through a message, a glance, a moment of stillness that suddenly makes everything make sense. Be present, be receptive, and above all, be honest with what you feel. And reunions aren't always easy. Sometimes they bring back buried feelings, unresolved stories, or fears you thought you outgrew. But don't run from that. Let those moments teach you. Let them remind you how far you've come. You're not the person you were the last time you met that soul, that dream, that version of yourself. And that's the point. You had to change so you could love differently, see clearly, and appreciate deeply. That's what makes the reunion sacred. It's not just about meeting again. It's about meeting at a higher frequency. NNTHE Universe works in layers. Just as the tides pull the ocean, unseen forces are drawing your reunion toward you. But it's not just about you. The other person, place, or calling is also evolving, preparing, awakening. There's a divine symmetry at play. You might be asking why now, and the answer is, because you're finally ready. You've done the work. You've shed the layers. And now, you're vibrating at a frequency that matches the very thing your soul has longed for. You are no longer searching from lack. You're calling it in from abundance. Let this next phase of your journey be marked not by anxiety, but by trust. Trust that if you're feeling this momentum, it's because something sacred is about to return. Trust that the universe knows your address, that every prayer, tear, and whisper into the night was heard. Trust that God didn't forget, that what you lost was never meant to break you, but to remake you into someone who could receive something greater. This is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a beautiful return. And it's happening faster than you think. When something sacred is approaching, your spirit knows before your mind can comprehend it. That uneasiness you've been feeling lately isn't anxiety. It's anticipation. Your soul is sensing that something long awaited is moving toward you. A divine reunion is not bound by time or logic. It unfolds in waves of energy, in silent shifts, in the unspoken knowing that your heart carries. You may not know the exact moment it will appear, but you're already feeling the buildup. And that's not accidental. It's spiritual preparation. You're not imagining things. You're aligning with them. God doesn't rush things. But when divine timing arrives, everything begins to move swiftly. All the invisible work done in the background suddenly comes to light. The people, opportunities, and answers you've been searching for begin to surface. But here's the truth most overlook. This reunion isn't just a return, it's a realignment. You are not simply going back to something familiar. You are entering a new version of that connection, one that matches your evolved energy. That's why it's taken time. The version of you that's ready to receive this was not the version you were even 6 months ago. And the same goes for the other party involved. Growth was needed on both sides. That growth is now culminating in action. NNTHE quickening of divine events often looks messy at first. You may feel like everything is happening at once. Old feelings resurfacing, new people entering, past relationships appearing in your dreams, opportunities demanding fast decisions. It can feel overwhelming, but this is what acceleration feels like in the spiritual realm. It's not always peaceful, it's powerful. And power, when misunderstood, feels like chaos. But you are not here to fear it. You are here to ride the wave. Stay rooted. Know that you're not unraveling, you're transforming. It's important to understand that not every reunion looks the way you imagined. Sometimes, the person who returns to your life does so briefly, to help you close a chapter with grace. Sometimes, a dream comes back in a different form, one that aligns with who you've become, not who you were. Other times, the reunion is internal, a homecoming with your truest self after years of being disconnected from your own voice. Don't limit what this reunion might be. Don't put it in a box of expectation. The divine doesn't color inside the lines of human plans. It brings what you need, not just what you wanted. And you may have felt isolated during this preparation season, as if no one understood your longing or your process. But that solitude was sacred. It wasn't abandonment, it was protection. The silence gave you space to hear the whispers of your soul. It gave you clarity that distraction would have drowned out. Now that clarity is needed. As the reunion approaches, distractions may reappear, but you must choose alignment. Not everything that returns deserves a place in your present. Just because something or someone shows up doesn't mean it's the divine reunion. Use your discernment. Your spirit knows the difference between a test and a blessing. Divine reunions have signatures. They come with peace, even if the circumstances are unexpected. They resonate deeply, even if they arrive through simple means. You won't need to chase, convince, or struggle to hold on to it. What's meant for you won't bypass you. What's divinely accelerated carries its own momentum. It doesn't rely on your effort to sustain it. It simply flows. That flow may feel unfamiliar, especially if you're used to fighting for love, chasing dreams, or striving for recognition. But this is different. This is grace. This is arrival. This is return. One of the most profound truths about this moment is that the reunion isn't just about one piece coming back. It's about the entire picture becoming clear. You will begin to understand why certain things had to fall apart, why certain people had to walk away, why certain chapters ended before you were ready. The pain had a purpose. It created space. And that space is now being filled, not just with what was lost, but with what was promised. You didn't wait in vain. You healed in faith. And that faith is about to be rewarded. Anin. Don't be surprised if the things you used to chase begin chasing you. When divine alignment speeds up, your energy becomes magnetic. People begin to notice your shift, even if they don't understand it. Opportunities you once struggled to secure may now fall effortlessly into place. This is the effect of spiritual readiness. You're not chasing anymore. You're receiving. But this receiving isn't passive. It requires you to be fully present, to say yes to the invitations that feel aligned, to honor your intuition above your fears, to move when the path lights up, even if it doesn't make complete sense to your logical mind. Your emotional body might also respond during this acceleration. You may feel more sensitive than usual. Tears may come for no reason. Old memories might resurface without warning. This is your system releasing residue. Before the reunion enters fully, The final blocks must clear. Let them go. Let the tears fall. Let the past speak its last words. Don't resist the emotions. Honor them. They are the final echoes of a story that is closing. Once they pass, there will be room for something new to bloom. Pay close attention to the days ahead. You'll begin to see patterns emerge, numbers repeating, songs playing at just the right moment, names that keep popping up. You may meet someone new who carries a familiar energy. Or you may receive a message from someone you never expected to hear from again. These are not random. They are divine signals, letting you know the reunion is in motion. Don't doubt them. Don't dismiss them. Acknowledge them. They are the gentle tap on your shoulder, saying, "Stay open." As you stand on the edge of this new chapter, hold on to the truth that you are ready. You are enough. You are chosen to experience this. The reunion was always part of your soul's path. It was delayed only to be more beautiful, more aligned, more sacred than you ever imagined. And now, as the divine accelerates, your only job is to say yes. Yes to the timing. Yes to the unfolding. Yes to the return. Even if you don't know what it looks like yet, your soul already knows how to receive it. When divine timing speeds up, there's often a moment where the world around you still looks unchanged, but everything within you feels different. It's like waking up to a world that hasn't yet realized it's about to transform. That subtle inner shift, the sense that something has already happened, even if it hasn't arrived physically, is a sign that your spirit is ahead of time. You are sensing what's coming because your soul is aligned with it. And now, the physical world is catching up. It may feel disorienting. You may find yourself both excited and anxious. That's okay. The threshold between longing and arrival is often a delicate space. Honor it. Stay grounded. This is the space where miracles begin to breathe. This reunion you're sensing may not come with a trumpet blast. It may not be dramatic. Instead, it may enter your life gently, through the ordinary. A phone call, a chance meeting, an intuitive nudge that leads you to a place you weren't planning to be. The divine moves subtly when it moves swiftly. Its power lies in its grace. You'll recognize it not by how loud it is, but by how true it feels. Something deep within you will say, "This is it." You won't need to overanalyze it. You'll just know. That knowing will be your guide. And once it begins, the pace may surprise you. What once felt stuck suddenly unfolds with ease. Where there was distance, closeness begins. Where there was silence, words flow again. Where there was confusion, clarity lands like a sunrise. That's the beauty of divine acceleration. It doesn't require effort, only readiness. And you've been readied. The struggles you endured weren't pointless. They were a clearing, a preparation, a sacred realignment. So now, don't sabotage what's arriving by thinking it's too good to be true. You've earned this, you've grown into this. Let it unfold. There may still be doubts. That's human. You might question whether it's real, whether it will last, whether you're truly ready to receive it. That's your mind catching up with your spirit. Be patient with yourself. Just because something is divinely timed doesn't mean you won't feel vulnerable. Reunions often trigger the parts of us that were once abandoned. They awaken old memories. They shake open the chambers of the heart that have been locked for years. That's not a sign that something is wrong. That's a sign that healing is being completed. Let yourself feel it. Let the warmth and the ache coexist. That's how you'll know it's real. NNTHE person or opportunity returning to your life may have a new energy. They've changed too. The time apart wasn't just about you growing, it was about them evolving as well. You may need to relearn each other, re-understand the space between who you were and who you are now. That can be uncomfortable at first, but if the connection is divine, it will be worth it. The depth will be greater, the connection more sacred. You will not be meeting again as strangers, but as transformed souls. And there is something incredibly powerful about reunions that happen after growth. They carry maturity, purpose, alignment. That's what you're walking into. Anyan. You may notice that life begins to rearrange itself to accommodate this return. Schedules shift, plans change. Your priorities may realign suddenly. Don't resist these changes. They are part of the divine orchestration. When the divine accelerates a reunion, everything else must make space for it. Relationships, habits, environments, even careers may begin to shift. It's not falling apart, it's falling together. Let the pieces move. Let what no longer supports your path fall away. You're not losing anything essential. You're shedding what was only meant for the waiting season. And as the reunion becomes more tangible, you may also feel waves of grief for the time lost. That's normal. The years, the distance, the misunderstandings, they all carried weight. And even though the return is beautiful, part of you may mourn what could have been. Don't suppress that grief. It's part of the healing. Let it move through you. Honor the version of you that waited, that longed, that cried. That version carried you here. And now they can rest. They did their job. The reunion is not erasing the past. It's redeeming it. You may also feel protective of this new beginning. You may not want to share it right away. That's okay. Sacred things need space to root before they're exposed to the world. Protect this reconnection until it feels solid. Let it grow in silence, in private, in peace. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't need to prove its worth. What's divine doesn't need validation. It simply is. And as it grows, so will your understanding of why it took the path it did. You'll begin to see the purpose behind every delay, the elegance in every detour, the divine precision in every heartbreak. There is also power in allowing the reunion to unfold naturally, without control. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't need to know how long it will last, what shape it will take, or where it will lead. Your only responsibility is to stay present, to be honest, to remain open. Let the story write itself. Let it surprise you. Let it unfold like a sunrise, slow but certain, beautiful in its becoming. The reunion is not just about getting something back. It's about stepping into a version of your life that finally reflects who you are now. That alignment is sacred. You've waited long enough, not just for the reunion, but for the feeling of wholeness that it brings. This isn't just about someone else returning. It's about parts of you returning too, parts that you left behind to survive, parts that you buried to stay safe. The return is not only external, it is internal. You are reclaiming the joy, the belief, the trust, and the softness that once lived inside you, and that return is just as holy. As the divine speeds up the reunion, it's also returning you to yourself. Let this next phase be lived with intention, with reverence, with awareness. Speak kindly, listen deeply, move slowly, trust fiercely. This is not just another chapter, it's a turning point, a divine reversal, a sacred crossing of paths that were never truly separate. What is coming is not just a reunion, it is a renewal. And the life that grows from it will carry a different frequency, one of depth, grace, Gratitude. Alignment. There's a stillness that often precedes movement, a quiet right before the change begins to manifest. You may feel suspended between worlds, still connected to your past, yet already reaching into your future. This in-between moment is sacred. Don't rush it. Don't wish it away. It's in this space that clarity deepens and your inner compass sharpens. Though everything around you may seem normal, your inner world knows that something meaningful is about to unfold. Trust that instinct. It's not just anticipation. It's revelation beginning to rise from beneath the surface of your awareness. And as the reunion approaches, you may feel the urge to tie up loose ends. There may be tasks, conversations, or inner reflections you're being nudged to complete. These aren't distractions, they're alignments. The divine is preparing your life to receive what's on the way. Old thoughts that suddenly surface, memories that tug on your heart, subtle emotions you can't explain. They all serve a purpose. It's not regression, it's cleansing. It's the soul's way of making space. When something sacred is coming, your inner being begins to rearrange itself to make room. Let it happen. Don't underestimate the power of divine nudges, the text you feel compelled to send, the person you think about repeatedly, the place you feel drawn to revisit. These are signals. They don't always come with certainty or clarity, but they come with energy. And when God is accelerating a reunion, those energetic messages grow stronger. It's easy to ignore them, to chalk them up as coincidence. But this is not a season of coincidence. This is a season of divine orchestration. If something keeps showing up in your heart or your path, lean into it with gentle curiosity. Something is waiting there. NNTHE reunion itself may feel surreal when it arrives. You might look at what's unfolding and feel as if you're dreaming. After all this time, after all the waiting, it's finally here, and that can be overwhelming. Don't let fear pull you back. You're not dreaming, you're awakening. And what you're stepping into is not a fragile fantasy. It's a divinely timed return, one that was written into your soul long before your mind could imagine it. Let yourself receive it fully, without hesitation, without needing every answer. Let the moment be enough. There's a rhythm to divine reunions. They don't always rush in all at once. Sometimes they arrive in layers, a conversation, a message, a small gesture that leads to a doorway opening. That doorway leads to another, then another, until one day you find yourself living in a reality that used to be a hope. Allow the process to be slow if it needs to be. Allow the steps to be revealed as you walk them. This reunion is not just about arrival, it's about integration. You're not simply being given something, you're being called to live it, to sustain it, to protect it. Many people dream of reunions, but forget they require inner balance to thrive. That's why your preparation mattered so deeply. You've learned how to sit with discomfort, how to let go of the need to control, how to listen to your intuition even when it made no logical sense. All of that has prepared you not only to recognize what's coming, but to nurture it. This is not just about being reunited with something or someone. It's about building a life that can hold it, a life that honors what once felt impossible, a life that no longer pushes away the very things it longed for. You may feel a sacred vulnerability arise during this time, a trembling within your heart that whispers, "Don't mess this up." That fear is rooted in your past, moments where things fell apart, promises were broken, or love slipped through your fingers. But this is not the past repeating. This is redemption unfolding, and it requires your courage, not the absence of fear, but the decision to move anyway. Let your guard down slowly if you must, but don't let fear close the door. This reunion is not a test, it's a gift. And as the divine speeds things up, you'll also notice that old energies begin to fall away quickly. People who once held a strong presence in your life may begin to feel distant. Habits that once brought comfort may feel hollow. Environments that once fed you may now feel restrictive. This is not regression, it's evolution. The old is releasing its grip, so the new can take root. Don't hold on out of guilt or nostalgia. Bless what is leaving. It served you once, but it cannot go where you're headed. Lighten your load. The journey ahead needs your full presence. Then you might also begin to experience divine timing in other areas of your life simultaneously. Career shifts, relocations, new friendships, all beginning to align in a pattern you never could have designed on your own. That's how you know the reunion is part of something larger. It's not an isolated blessing. It's part of a complete redirection, one that is pulling your entire life into greater alignment. If it feels like multiple things are changing at once, don't resist. Let yourself flow with it. The acceleration is real, and your role is to remain centered in trust. This is a deeply spiritual moment. More than a reconnection, it's a return to purpose. It's a return to meaning. The person, the path, the dream, it all carries a greater mission now. It's not just about love. It's not just about comfort. It's about alignment with destiny, about being where your soul was always meant to be, about rising into a version of yourself that no longer shrinks to stay safe, about walking forward knowing that something holy has returned not to fix you, but to meet the healed version of you. In the stillness of this preparation, take time to reflect, write, pray, walk, breathe. Let your nervous system settle into the knowing that you don't have to force anything anymore. The rushing is over. The proving is over. What's meant for you is now moving toward you without resistance. And when it lands, it will feel like exhale after years of holding your breath. Stay soft. Stay open. Stay present. You are being divinely carried towards something beautiful. There comes a point in your journey when things no longer feel like a chase. You're no longer seeking with desperation, but moving with assurance. That's when you know you're walking in alignment. When God begins to speed up a reunion, He does so in a way that feels like harmony instead of pursuit. You don't need to beg the universe for signs. You begin to live as the sign. You don't plead for closure. You feel the closure happening within. And you don't need to convince anyone to return, because what's divinely connected always finds its way back. That quiet confidence you feel, that's not pride. That's the echo of your soul saying, "It's almost here." During this acceleration, your spirit may become more sensitive than ever. You might find yourself suddenly nostalgic. You may cry for reasons you can't explain. You may feel overwhelmed with gratitude, even before the reunion arrives. That's because your heart is softening, expanding, preparing to hold something bigger than before. This time, you're not receiving with the same hands that once clutched in fear. You're receiving with hands open in trust. This is growth. This is readiness. This is divine maturity. The version of you emerging now is the version that can sustain what is on its way. And it is coming. The momentum is real. The air is different. The timing is no longer some vague, far-off event. It's now. If you feel like you're being pulled forward, that's because the future is already unfolding. Divine reunions are not only about who returns to you, they are about who you become when you return to your true path. This is why the journey felt long. You were being remade, not punished. The pauses, the silence, the longing, it all had purpose. And now, the weight is turning into movement, into motion, into manifestation.nn. You may start noticing new signs in unexpected places. Symbols that once meant little to you now carry power. The way someone looks at you, the timing of a phone call, the feeling you get when you hear a certain name. These aren't coincidences, They are confirmations. The divine speaks in subtle language, and those who are in alignment will understand it. Pay attention to your body, to your dreams, to the quiet voice within that whispers truth. You are not imagining the shift. It is happening. At this stage, there may be moments where the magnitude of what's unfolding becomes overwhelming. You may wonder if you're truly ready for the responsibility of holding what's returning to you. That fear is natural, but don't let it lead. The divine would not bring something back into your life unless it believed you were prepared to honor it. The person returning to your life is not coming back to rescue you. They're returning because your energy has become a mirror of what's meant for you. You've been doing the work in silence. Now the reflection is about to appear. This is also a time for boundaries. As reunions approach, distractions often show up too. Not every voice needs your attention. Not every old connection deserves re-entry. You must choose deliberately. Don't mistake familiarity for alignment. The reunion you're sensing is not just a blast from the past. It's a rejoining with something sacred, something refined by time, absence, and divine will. You are not who you were. Let that truth guide you. Hold space for the return that aligns with your growth, not your wounds. And when it arrives, whether suddenly or in steps, receive it without armor. You don't need to be guarded. You don't need to keep testing its worth. Let your heart be open. Let the divine show you that what's meant for you never left. It was being prepared, and as it returns, meet it with grace. Not all reunions will look the same. Some will be soft and gentle, others will be bold and emotional. However it comes, let it be enough. Trust the form it chooses. There is wisdom in moving slowly, even during acceleration. Just because the energy is fast doesn't mean you need to rush emotionally. Divine reunions are like sacred fires. Beautiful, but they require careful tending. Stay present. Be honest with what you feel. Speak truthfully. Listen deeply. Give space for the return to settle. Don't try to define it too soon. Let it teach you what it wants to become. It may also bring healing you weren't expecting. Conversations that bring tears. Apologies that feel like release. Laughter that reminds you of who you used to be. These are not just moments, they are medicine. Let them in. Let the past be acknowledged so the future can be built with clear eyes and whole hearts. Don't skip the softness. It's in those gentle moments that the deepest healing happens. And as this sacred return continues to unfold, anchor yourself in gratitude. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is real. This is not a fantasy. This is not a temporary high. This is a reunion grounded in growth. It has roots, it has weight, and it has the potential to build something lasting. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. You may look back one day and realize this was the season where everything changed. Quietly, swiftly, powerfully. You didn't chase it. You became ready for it. You didn't beg for it. You aligned with it. You didn't force it. You allowed it. And when it arrived, you didn't question it. You received it. That's the power of divine timing. That's the beauty of an accelerated reunion. And you're living in that miracle now. Sometimes the most profound reunions don't begin with a grand gesture. They begin with a shift in energy, a deeper breath, a subtle realization that something has returned, not just to your life, but to your spirit. That's the beauty of divine orchestration. It doesn't need to announce itself with fireworks. It often arrives in peace, in simplicity, in a moment of eye contact, or a gentle message that carries more meaning than pages of conversation. When God speeds things up, He doesn't just change the pace of events. He changes the depth of how those events are experienced. And now you're stepping into that space. The sacred intersection of readiness and return. What's coming is not chaotic. It's intentional. And yet, you may still feel the weight of anticipation, unsure of how to navigate this new chapter. That's natural. Even when something is divinely guided, it can still trigger the part of you that's used to waiting, used to being let down, used to trying to protect yourself from disappointment. But this is not the same story. This is a turning point. And you are being called to trust the speed of the unfolding. When Genei, you may begin to notice that everything in your environment is responding to this shift. Conversations feel deeper. Time feels faster. Little things that once irritated you now feel irrelevant. That's because your spirit is rising into alignment. You're no longer focused on what you lack. You're focused on what you're ready to receive. This creates an inner magnetism. It sends a signal to the universe that says, I am here. I am willing. I am aligned. And in response, life moves. People feel drawn to you. Opportunities that were closed before now open without force. That's the quiet miracle of divine acceleration. And with that acceleration comes responsibility. You are being trusted with something sacred. Whether it's a renewed relationship, a long-awaited calling, or a dream that's returning in a new form, you are the steward of this blessing. That means nurturing it, protecting it, listening to it, and allowing it to grow at its own pace. Just because it's arrived quickly doesn't mean it needs to be rushed further. Let it settle. Let it root. Give it your presence, not your panic. You're not here to control the outcome. You're here to be present for the unfolding. And divine reunions are about more than just connection. They are about purpose, mission, growth, two souls, or paths, rejoining at the right time, not just for comfort, but for contribution. You're being brought together again for a reason. There's work to be done together, healing to be witnessed, stories to be rewritten. This is why the reunion feels so different from anything before. It carries weight. It brings vision. It carries a sense of calling that can't be ignored. NNBE, mindful of your inner voice during this season. It may try to talk you out of what's coming. It may say things like, "This is too good to be true," or "It's going to end like last time." That voice is not your truth. It's your past trying to protect you. Thank it. Then let it go. You're not living through those old stories anymore. You're not the same. This time, you're stepping into something that's not built on illusion or dependency. It's built on mutual growth, divine timing, soul recognition, and you deserve to be here. And you might find that time itself begins to feel different. Hours may pass quickly, or certain moments may feel stretched with meaning. That's because your perception is expanding. You are no longer bound to the rigid structure of linear time. You're tapping into Kairos time, divine time. In this space, things happen not when it's convenient, but when it's right. And when something is right, it doesn't matter how long it took. It only matters that it arrived. And you've arrived too. You're not just observing this transformation. You are part of it. Your energy is contributing to it. Your decisions are shaping the next steps. Stay aware of the choices you make right now. They carry more weight than usual. A single yes or no could redirect the path. Not because you should be afraid to act, but because you're in a window of powerful alignment. Trust yourself. Trust what feels true. Your intuition is sharp in this season. Follow it. If doubt creeps in, go inward. Breathe. Reconnect with the part of you that knows you're worthy of love, of reunion, of purpose. You are not here by accident. You are not stumbling into something fragile. You are stepping into something fortified by time, tears, and tenacity. And even though it may feel fragile now, it is only because it is still forming. The roots are still digging. The connection is still deepening. Give it the time it needs to become what it's meant to be. Others may not understand what's happening in your life. They might not feel the significance of the return the way you do. That's okay. This reunion wasn't meant for everyone to validate. It was meant for your spirit to recognize. It's personal, intimate, sacred. Don't let outside noise distort your inner knowing. Keep this space clean. Let it grow in quiet strength before you share it with the world. And if the reunion surprises you, if it arrives sooner than expected, in a form you didn't anticipate, don't reject it out of fear. Stay open. Stay curious. Sometimes the most beautiful beginnings are the ones that sneak in softly, that show up in unexpected places, that challenge you to believe in grace again. Say yes to that. Say yes to the reunion that doesn't ask you to be perfect, only present. This is not a test. This is not a game. This is a divinely timed convergence that has been set in motion by every step you've taken up to this moment. You didn't miss it. You didn't delay it. You've arrived exactly when you were meant to. And now, the person, the purpose, the path, you're all catching up with each other. Fast, beautifully, in sync. This is the season where the invisible becomes visible. What was only a feeling, a hope, a quiet longing, now reveals itself in form. You've been walking with faith for so long, believing in something your eyes couldn't yet see. And now, the physical is catching up with the spiritual. This is not imagination. This is not illusion. This is real. And even though it may still feel delicate, uncertain, or surreal, trust the substance of it. The roots were growing underground the whole time. You were never waiting in vain. In this final stretch, allow yourself to move with reverence. There's something sacred about crossing the threshold from yearning into manifestation. Your heart may race. Your mind may try to analyze every detail. But your soul already knows the rhythm. Let it guide you. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need to control the outcome. Just stay attuned. Stay open. Stay grounded. You are walking on holy ground now. This is not the moment to rush. This is the moment to fully feel. You may begin to witness small signs of completion, cycles ending, conversations bringing closure, dreams that once felt distant now feel near. These are the final alignments. The last echoes of delay dissolving as the reunion fully anchors itself in your reality. It might not look exactly how you pictured it. It might not arrive in the shape you once prayed for, but it will arrive in the form that honors who you have become. That's the divine's signature. Truth over fantasy, alignment over nostalgia, soul over story. And you're not just stepping into a reunion, you're stepping into a new timeline. One where you no longer have to beg for love, chase after your calling, or prove your worth. That season is over. The divine acceleration wasn't just to bring something back into your life. It was to elevate you into a version of yourself that can live, love, and lead from wholeness. That is the greatest gift of all. Not what returns, but what it returns to. Let this final phase be marked by your peace. Let it be felt in your silence, in your stillness, in your smile. You don't have to shout that something has changed. You'll radiate it. Others will feel it in your presence. You'll speak softer, listen deeper, move wiser. You'll make decisions not from fear of missing out, but from the certainty that what's yours knows where to find you. You are no longer rushing, you are receiving. There may be one final test before the reunion fully anchors. Not a punishment, but a confirmation. Something may come up to test your clarity, your boundaries, your trust. Breathe through it. You've grown too much to fall for the same distractions. You're no longer available for confusion. What's not aligned will feel immediately heavy. What is right will feel unmistakably clear. Follow that clarity. It's your compass now. And when the reunion is fully in front of you, whether in a relationship, a dream reignited, or a calling, you finally walk in. Pause. Look around. Take a moment to recognize the beauty of this divine timing. You didn't get here by accident. You walked through shadows, doubt, disappointment, and silence. You held on to a quiet, knowing that something more was meant for you, and that knowing was not wrong. It was holy. You may be tempted to shrink as the blessing arrives, to downplay it, to keep it hidden because of fear or past pain. Don't do that. Let it be seen. Let it bloom. Let it expand in the light. This is not just a gift. It's a responsibility. You're being trusted with something sacred. Hold it with love, with honesty, with devotion, and let it transform you, just as you've been transforming to receive it. NNTHE, acceleration is not stopping. This reunion is not the finish line. It's the doorway. More is coming. New opportunities, deeper love, expanded purpose. This is just the beginning of a greater alignment. What has returned is a seed. What grows from it will bless not just you, but everyone connected to you. That's the power of a divine reunion. It multiplies its impact. Your healing becomes someone else's breakthrough. Your courage becomes someone else's inspiration. Your union becomes a lighthouse. Keep walking forward. Let the energy flow. Let your intuition lead. You've already been given everything you need to live this next chapter well. The timing is not accidental. The pace is not a mistake. God is speeding it up because the hour has come. The chapter has turned. The momentum is here, and your life is no longer on pause. It's in motion, synced to a higher rhythm, guided by a greater love. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. The divine has been working behind the scenes the entire time. And now, the curtains are parting. The light is shining. The reunion is here, not just of soul to soul, but of you with your own highest self, with your future, with your purpose, with everything that once felt far away and is now within reach. This is your moment. This is the return, and it's only the beginning.